Long ago, we started our journey in the Johto region, starting from New Bark Town with a humble beginning, making our way all around the region, collecting 8 gym badges, and taking on, eventually, the Elite Four. After that, we went over to the Kanto region. We did the exact same thing, explored all of the region, battled many legendary Pokemon along the way, got all the gym badges, and eventually arrived here, at our final destination of our entire adventure, Mount Silver. And today, we're gonna climb Mount Silver and see what lies at the very top. Hey everybody, Majimon here, and welcome back to some more Pokemon Soulsilver. In the last episode, we took on Moltres in Mount Silver, which, you could say we kinda climbed Mount Silver last time, but not really. We only went inside of it for a little bit of time, just to find Moltres. But now, for real this time, we're going to the top of Mount Silver, and trust me, there was some prep work to be done before we went over to the top of Mount Silver, because what lies at the top of Mount Silver is the true finale of the game. And if you thought fighting Lance and the Elite Four once again was tricky, we ain't seen nothing yet. So off screen, like I mentioned last time, I did a little bit of grinding because at our current level beforehand, we would stand no chance whatsoever. And honestly, I am still pretty underleveled for what we're going to be taking on today. But I figured that the levels we got now are probably fair. So with that being said, let's take a look, shall we? As you can see, I've trained our entire team up to level 70. This took a couple of hours, but it is what it is. And before we go into Mount Silver for our final adventure, I want to show off the team one final time before we get going. Starting off with our good old starter, Riptide, who's been with us since the very beginning, the Feraligatr. And when it comes to the moveset, Feraligatr is mostly the same. However, it did learn one move while leveling up, Superpower, a very cool move. It is a fighting type move with 120 power, 100 accuracy, with the downside of lowering your attack and defense. With 120 power, that's the same power as the close combat, and admittedly, while Superpower is kind of just a worse close combat at like, these days, it's still a very respectable move, very strong move, and I thought it could come in very much handy over Ice Fang, so now Feraligatr has Superpower instead. And it's holding to see and sense to increase its water power on its water type attacks. Next up is Espeon, who has mostly the same moveset. However, I decided to go stop by the Goldenrod department store and replace Swift with a much better special attack in Hyper Beam. 150 power, 90 accuracy. It does require a recharge if you use it. However, the power on this move is not to be underestimated. And along with the choice specs, and not choice specs, the extra Espeon has, hopefully Espeon is going to be hitting very, very hard. Because honestly, Espeon really only needs Psychic, so just having another move to hit things with, like Hyper Beam, is perfectly fine. Its main move is just spamming Psychic, because look at that special attack stat. 220? Pretty nice. That's Espeon for you. On to our next Pokemon, Gonta the Heracross. And as you can see, it has basically the exact same moveset. We've already talked about what Mega Horn does last time, but Mega Horn is a staple of Heracross's moveset, and it's so glad, I'm so glad to finally have it after all this time. Outside of that, though, Heracross is mostly the same. Got Rock Slide, Close Combat, Mega Horn, and Earthquake. Choice Scarf still equipped, has Guts. You know Heracross, you know Gonta. He's been with us for quite some time, and I would not have it any other way. On to our next Pokemon, good old Gengar, the goon himself, who basically has the exact same moveset. However, I am debating about teaching him a new move over Dream Eater, because admittedly, we already have a Psychic type Pokemon. We don't really need Dream Eater. It's a little bit overkill. And Shadow Ball, Gauge Rain, honestly, Gengar just goes crazy with Shadow Balls already, so it's perfectly fine just to have Shadow Ball for a main attack move. Gauge Rain is just here for a coverage move. So I'm going to look into my TMs right now, and I think we're going to give Gengar something new, and I have an idea what I want to give it. Right off the top of my head already. So if we go over here to our TMs, and what I'm thinking about giving our Gengar is I'm thinking about giving him, where is it? Dark Pulse. And the reason I'm thinking about giving him Dark Pulse is just because it is another special type attack that Gengar can take advantage of, and Dream Eater at this point is kind of pointless, especially since I'm planning on using Gengar with choice specs during this battle, or like during this entire rest of the adventure. So I'm thinking, instead of Dream Eater, we're going to teach ourselves Dark Pulse right now. And for those who forget, Dark Pulse is an 80 power move which has a chance to flinch, Dark type, Special type, so fits Gengar to a T. There you go. And now, back to the team roll call, I guess you could say. On to our next Pokemon, Sparta the Persian, who has been with us for a very long time as well. And Persian, for the most part, is relatively unchanged. Actually, that's actually kind of a lie. Actually, I think Persian's probably the most changed Pokemon from the last time I recorded, because Persian tend to learn a lot of new moves. And the two new moves that Persian has here is Night Slash, which I got rid of for Nasty Plot. It's a 70 power physical dark type attack with a high critical hit ratio. It's basically Slash, but dark type. And the other move we have is Hyper Beam, and you're probably wondering, why Hyper Beam? The answer to that is simple. Persian's attack and special attack are basically the exact same stat, like it's literally only 4 points apart. And along with the Silk Scarf that Persian already takes advantage of with its Fake Out and Technician combo, I figured Hyper Beam would just be a nice fit on Persian, because, you know, it's a good strong attack. You can never go wrong with a good strong attack. So yeah, that's Persian. And finally, last but certainly not least, Mammoth Swan, who's been helping us tons throughout this entire project, is relatively the same because, for the most part, Earthquake, Ice Shard, Avalanche are very good moves to have on Mammoth Swan. They just do what Mammoth Swan loves doing. And Rock Climb is necessary to get up to the top of Mount Silver, so we need it for this, you know, for this trial. And with that, that's our team. The final team going into the final dungeon. It's been a long time coming, but it's finally time to put an end to this adventure, once and for all. But even though I'm being all dramatic and stuff, there's one thing I want to do before we get going, and that is show off my items quickly. Going into this final dungeon, we have ourselves 20 Hyper Potions and 20 Revives. I probably won't be needing all of them, but I figured, you know, it's the final trial. We may as well bring stuff with us, you know? We have a ton of money from my mom. We may as well bring it with us, you know? But more importantly, there's one other thing I want to take care of quickly before we get going up there. And you're probably wondering what the heck I'm doing. Why do I have Farfetch with me? The answer is Farfetch is going to be the mega powerful demon Pokemon who saves the day. No, not really. There is actually one thing in this route I want to show off quickly before we actually get going, and that is something that we need Cut for. And as you guys know, Farfetch has been our Cut Pokemon and our Fly Pokemon throughout this project. And I've been praising our main team a lot, but Farfetch has been equally as helpful for this entire project. So you know what, Farfetch, you get a special shout out too. You're pretty cool. We need to cut this tree over here, go over here, and there's a house over here. What's inside the house though? Let's find out. A person who's very shocked to see us. Alas, you found me. My peace and quiet to heal myself from the exhaustion of standing in the spotlight has been exposed. What? You're not the media? Then you must be one of my fans. Why didn't you say so? You can keep to yourself that I'm here, right? I'll give you this for... By talking to her, you get yourselves TM47, which, if I remember correctly, is a pretty cool move. Never mind, not the move I thought it was, but it's still a move to mention anyways. It contains Steel Wing. I remember I was wearing a dress inspired by this move on my debut stage. Alas, being a legendary idol is so demanding. I've been retired for some time, but people never stop chasing after me. Like you. Yeah, I totally intended to find an idol. Haha, yes, that was me. So this here is Steel Wing. It's not the move I was thinking it was, but we can talk about it nonetheless. Steel Wing is an okay move. It's 70 power, 90% accuracy, and it has a chance to raise your defense stat. I believe it's like a 10% chance. It's not the worst move in the world. It's just a pretty standard Steel-type move, and at this point of the game, you probably have something better if you're using a Steel-type Pokemon. But it's something. Goodbye, Firo. Watch over your idol well. I bid you all good times and good wishes. What I'm actually over here is for this. This is the move I was actually thinking of. This is TM35 Flamethrower, and this is absolutely worth picking up. Flamethrower here is probably the most stable, most reliable Fire-type move in the entirety of the game, if I can find it. Apparently I forgot how to count. 35 is lower, not higher. This here is Flamethrower. 95 power, 100% accuracy with a chance to burn. This move is fantastic. One of the most reliable moves in the entirety of the game. It is an incredible move, and unfortunately, I don't think any of my Pokemon can learn it. Yeah, none of my Pokemon can learn it. I don't got a Fire-type, but if you have a Fire-type Pokemon, highly recommend teaching it. If you somehow don't have it already on your Pokemon, it is a fantastic move overall. And now, with all that said, no more dilly-dally, shilly-shallying. It is time for us to go back to the Pokemon Center, pick a Feraligatr, and stop screwing around. It's time for us to climb this mountain and see what the end of the journey looks like. Farfetch, you've done us a good service. This is the last time we're probably going to be seeing you. It's been an honor. But we must go. We got bigger fish to fry. Oh yeah, one more thing I should mention here because some people are probably going to be curious about it. You're probably wondering, where the heck is Moltres in my PC box? About that, my game randomly crashed on me as I was grinding Pokemon, and it turns out I didn't save after the recording of catching Moltres, so I didn't have Moltres, so when I reloaded the game, I was in front of Moltres about to catch it, but then I decided, you know what, I already caught it on camera. I'm not going to use Moltres during this playthrough. I may as well just KO it and get on with my day. And, yeah, so Moltres is kind of dead right now, but it's just... In another timeline, we caught Moltres just perfectly fine, and nothing weird came out of it. That said, no more screwing around. Mount Silver Cave, here we come. Now, Mount Silver here is the final dungeon of the game. It is the final area you're supposed to visit. And it being the final area, there are tons and tons and tons of Pokemon you can find throughout here. And they vary a lot depending on which part of the cave you're in. And in particular, there are two certain Pokemon that I'm a big fan of quite a bit. And they're kind of rare, so I'm not going to go looking for them on camera because it could take us quite some time to find them. But two of them are Mischievous, one of my favorite Pokemon, and also a Pokemon I really, really wanted to use on this project. However, unfortunately, it is only found in this cave, which obviously is the final area of the game, so that wasn't going to happen. Like, I was so sad about that. I really wanted to use Mischievous. And who knows, maybe in the future when it's in another game I play, maybe I'll use it on that in the future. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. But anyways, I love Poison-type Pokemon, and, not Poison, Ghost-type Pokemon, and Mischievous is definitely one of my favorites, so that made me really sad I couldn't use it. And the other Pokemon you can find here is Larvitar. And Larvitar is a Pokemon that is the baby evolution of a pseudo-legendary called Tyranitar. And if you know pseudo-legendaries like Dragonite and Garchomp and all those Pokemon, you already know that means it's pretty terrifying. And, well, at this point in the game, catching a Larvitar is kind of pointless because you're at the final area of the game and your team's probably already filled out. It is not a bad catch whatsoever. You can find one, you want to raise one up, you know, play some multiplayer or just use them afterwards. Tyranitar is a fantastic Pokemon. But I want to make special mention of it because it's only found in this area, and it's also pretty rare, so we're probably not going to get to see it before the end of this project. And speaking of good things, we have ourselves here another TM move. This here is TM76 Stealth Rock. And Stealth Rock in single player, it's a pretty good move. Actually, I can't lie, it's a pretty good move. Stealth Rock here is a move which is a unique move where it causes entry hazards to appear. And what entry hazards are is that it is a hazard that affects the opposing team upon switching in their Pokemon. And in Stealth Rock's case, it does damage to the opposing Pokemon according to how weak to rock they are. If they're weak to rock by 2 times, they take 25% of their health coming in, and if they're 4 times weak to it, they take a massive 50% upon coming in, which is absolutely insane. And honestly, I think I might actually teach this to my Pokemon. I'm gonna teach the Mamoswine, honestly. Because at this point of the game, I think I've gotten all the mileage out of Ice Shard that I think I want, because honestly, Avalanche is our main Ice-type attacking move. I think I'm good on having priority Ice Shard. And worst case scenario, for some reason I change my mind, I could always go to the Heart Scale and like get a new one, but like, I think for the time being, I actually am going to teach Stealth Rock, because it's going to be incredibly useful coming up. I'm going to get to show off how powerful Stealth Rocks is down the line. And trust me, there's a reason why this is in the final area of the game, because Stealth Rocks is a fantastic move. It's probably one of the best moves of all time in Pokemon history. It's fantastic. That said, though, let's keep on going. And I'd say Mount Silver, I wouldn't call it a maze per se, but there's definitely a lot of different pathways you can go, and if you're not familiar with the cave, it's actually kind of easy to get lost in here. But thankfully, I played this game so many times that I know my way around relatively well. And you know this area means business because they're giving us free full restore, so you already know whatever's at the end of this cave is going to be terrifying. Let me see here. I know I just said I know what I'm doing, but maybe I'm a liar. You never know. I think we want to go for this one, though. There we go. Yeah, I won't say this cave is like too complicated. It's mostly that you need HMs to get through it, and like I said, there's multiple pathways you can go for like bonus items and stuff. So if you're just trying to get through it like the main way, you might get a little lost, but we're getting free full restores. You know, you can't complain about that. That's some free good items right there. And I think we want to go. I think there's an item over here, right? Yeah, haha. Free revive. Can't complain about that. My hidden item senses were tingling. I must have checked it out. I had to. And this looks a lot like the crater the Moltres was in, but trust me, we're in a different place. It looks a lot like it, though. I wouldn't blame you if you got confused for a second. Going around in circles. You know what this area always reminded me of? Like, this particular room. It reminded me of, like, Pikmin 2 dungeons. Because Pikmin 2 dungeons, they freaking love in some of the dungeons that have, like, big, like, spiraling, like, square corridors of craters of sorts. I don't know. Maybe I'm going crazy. Maybe some people don't know what I'm talking about, but, like, I don't know. It always reminded me of those places. When I say this room is big, I really do mean this room is freaking huge. I already went through a whole max repel just going through this one area on its own. There it is, massive. All the way around. Bring it around town. I think I want to go over here because I think there's a free item. Yes, there is. A max revive. You know whatever's at the end of this cave is going to be terrifying. They're giving us free max revives. One of the greatest items in the entirety of the game. And And I want to say, even though we can probably exit through that. Okay, actually, we need Rock Smash to go that way. Okay, never mind. I think there's a hidden item over there. I think it's a full restore. I'm pretty sure anyways, but we're not going to go get that. As you can see, it's all snowy now. We're in Canada because we're getting high up on the mountain now. We're making progress. And I think we want to ignore this, but I'm going to check it out anyways. We may as well, you know? And we're back in the crater, but there's an item over here, so I'm not going to complain. A free protein. I won't lie to you, I'm pretty sure all my Pokemon have all their EVs filled up now because we had these Pokemon for quite some time, but just in case we don't have it, let me check something out. I will give it to... Riptide. Nope, never mind. I'll give it to Gonta. No. I'll give it to you. Nope, never mind. I think we are out of luck. Okay, never mind. Screw that. Moving on. What else do we have here? We have more entrances. As you can see, like it's like I said, I wouldn't call it a maze per se, but it's definitely trying to be a maze. There's a lot of different ways you can go, and I think we want to ignore this cave here. Actually, let me check it out. We might as well check out everything. You know, we haven't been here before. We might as well check out everything. That led nowhere. Like the door is like 2 seconds, like 2 feet apart from each other. Okay, whatever. I think let's keep going. Let's go up. It's actually required to go that way. I'm just being a funny guy. Yeah. We got 3 different ways we can go up here this way. Let's try this way. I'm feeling kind of lefty today, you know? Most people are righties, but I feel like a lefty. Even though I'm definitely right-handed, but ignore that. But my curiosity of the left-handed side was rewarded with an item. A Dawnstone. Okay, that's kind of a rare item. That there's an evolutionary stone for evolving very few Pokemon. In fact, I can only think of like 2 off the top of my head that evolve in the entirety of the game, and both of them are Sinnoh Pokemon that I don't think you can catch in the wild here normally. So that's kind of weird that it's in this area of all places, but it is what it is. And oh my god, look at all the rock climb. Thank god we got rock climb Professor Oak, or else we'd be screwed over here. There are so many cliffs. We'll up over this way. And I think we're making progress. And 1 giant cliff in front of us to go. And once you reach this up here, fair warning, you have reached the end of Mount Silver, and I think there's an item here? Another free max revive. Okay, can't complain about that. Good thing I checked that. But yeah, as you can see, we've made it. The peak of Mount Silver. Make sure to save your game. Whenever you're safe, prepared, and ready to go, step forth and face your final challenge. Also, as a pro tip, highly recommend opening up a ground type Pokemon if you have one. This here is Pokemon Trainer Red, the original hero from the original game, and one of the coolest things that Pokemon has ever done, you get to battle the original hero of the original Pokemon games, as the ultimate challenge of true Pokemon mastery. This here is one of my favorite moments of Pokemon history, and when I was a kid and first discovered this on my own, I lost my mind, and I'm sure everyone else did as well. And you can tell the stakes are high because the theme, this is the Champions theme. This is serious business. And also, you can tell it's serious business because this first Pokemon is level 88. Yeah. This is why I grinded off screen, because if you do not grind, you are going to show up here with level 60 Pokemon and get absolutely destroyed. That being said though, his first Pokemon is his ace in the hole, Pikachu, level 88 with the following moveset. And you may think Pikachu is not that scary, however this Pikachu is special because this Pikachu is holding an item called the Light Ball, which doubles its attack and special attack. And Pikachu may not seem that scary until its attack and special attack are some of the deadliest things in the entirety of the game. So having a ground type Pokemon, very, very helpful, because this Pikachu has access to the move Volt Tackle, its signature move, which is a 120 power physical logic move, which will hurt like an absolute truck. The plus side, though, is that it has recoil damage, and Pikachu has low HP, so it's going to do a lot of damage back to it. However, it will hurt like hell if you get hit by it. So having a ground type Pokemon is very recommended, which is why I'm opening up with Mammoth here. I'm going to go straight for the Earthquake. And thankfully, it missed Iron Tail, which actually probably would have hurt a lot on me because that's a super effective Steel type move. Yeah, this Pikachu here, do not underestimate it. It may be a little baby Pikachu, but this Pikachu means business. It's Red's iconic lead Pokemon. Do not play around with this thing. Take it out as soon as possible. If you can KO it without getting hit, it's not that bad. However, getting hit by this thing is very terrifying. And this here is going to be the other main thing you have to worry about during this battle. Hail. This is the only time you'll see Hail in the entirety of the game normally. And Hail is an interesting thing. It does chip damage to any Pokemon that is not an Ice type, and it also has the side effect of making Blizzard, a very powerful Ice type move, 100% accuracy instead of its 75% accuracy. So Blizzard becomes a very scary move, and Red has multiple Pokemon that have the move Blizzard, so you want to be very careful about that. That being said, though, Pikachu down, onto his next Pokemon here, Blastoise. And we've seen Blastoise before. It's the Water-type Kanto starter. You know him, you love him. Except I don't really love him because I actually don't have anything too good against him. So, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go right into my Espeon here and hope we can take this thing out. Onto Red's second Pokemon, Blastoise, the Water starter. Level 84, as you can see, the levels are still pretty high. Pure Water type with the following moveset. Blastoise is one of this Pokemon that has the access to the move Blizzard, so you want to be very careful about that. If you have a Pokemon weak to ground, you're going to get absolutely slammed by Blizzard. Be very careful about that. However, thankfully Blastoise is not the fastest Pokemon in the world, so my team should be able to keep up with him even though he's higher level than me. And Psychic does a pretty good chunk. And here comes the Blizzard. This is going to hurt a lot. I might even die. Blizzard is a very powerful move. Actually, Espeon took that pretty well. I kind of forget that even though Espeon is kind of like a glass cannon, it's actually pretty good at special defense. It's only physical defense it's really bad at, so we actually did that pretty well. But as you can see, not all Red's Pokemon are going to be immune to the Hail damage as well, so it kind of works in your favor as well as against your favor as well. So just keep Hail in mind during this battle. It's the only time you'll be seeing Hail during the entirety of the game, so it's very important to understand what it does. That being said, though, I think we'll take him down very close. Hey, we get a critical hit. Okay, we're getting very lucky so far, I can't lie. Blastoise definitely should have lived that, and he probably would have used a full restore, because Red actually uses items as well. Even though he may be the champion trainer of the original games, he is not above using items, so be wary of that. On to his third Pokemon, Snorlax. I'm not gonna lie to you, this Snorlax terrifies me. Snorlax is one of those Pokemon every time I see it, I get very scared for my well-being. However, thankfully, we have a good fighting type Pokemon here, and Snorlax's only weakness is fighting type, as Snorlax is a pure normal type, as we know. We have a Snorlax in a PC box. You should be pretty familiar with Snorlax at this point. Into Red's third Pokemon, Snorlax, level 82, normal type with the following moveset. Snorlax here is one of his Pokemon that also has Blizzard, so be very wary of it. Just keep it in mind. And of course, it's the Snorlax, so it has tons of HP, tons of special defense. It's overall just a really menacing Pokemon, and if you don't have a fighting type Pokemon, Snorlax can be very hard to take down. But thankfully, we have ourselves a Heracross, so I'm hoping we can get a two-shot on this thing. Maybe even a one-shot, but I kind of doubt it because it's a Snorlax. Yeah, look how slow his HP is going down. Snorlax has so much health, it's insane. And we actually do a ton of damage to it. That's pretty good. However, unfortunately, it lowers my defense, which means this Blizzard is probably going to hurt a lot. Ow, that did about half my health. After the Hail, it's gonna do half my health. Ow. See, I'm not gonna lie to you, if you have yourself a fighting type Pokemon, it's gonna come in very much handy during this battle because he has a lot of Pokemon that fighting type is just very useful against. And there he goes using one of his full restores. But yeah, if you can have a fighting type for this battle, I would highly recommend it. Fighting type and ground type are probably, in my opinion, the best fighting types you can have for this battle overall. They're gonna be extremely useful during this. And oh my god, that Snorlax has so much health, the full restore takes like 2 years to fill up its HP. Gonna go for another close combat, which unfortunately, unless we get a critical hit again, pretty please. Maybe. I don't know, I've been kind of lucky before, just maybe. No. We got pretty close though, can't lie. Now, thankfully, we should take it out here, but Gonta has taken quite a beating during this. The hail damage really does add up over time. as he actually switches out his Snorlax into his Charizard. That is really not good. This close combat is going to do 2 damage. So yeah, as you can see, Red is not above switching Pokemon either. He's actually smart. You know why? Because this guy's a champion. He is the original hero of the original games. He knows what he's doing. That being said, though, this here is his 3rd Pokemon. Actually, no, it's his 4th Pokemon. This here is Charizard, Fire Flying type. You should be pretty familiar with Charizard at this point. We've been seeing him a lot when fighting against Lance. With the following moveset. Obviously, though, Gonta is absolutely terrible against Charizard, as, you know, I'm a bug fighting type. It has a 4 times effective flying move on me, and I'm also weak to fire, so this is quite possibly the worst matchup possible. And unfortunately, this Charizard is pretty scary, so I don't want to switch an Espeon. I want to say Riptide can probably take a hit or 2. Okay, well, here's the plan, I have a plan here. Okay, we're going to send in Sparta here. And Sparta is so fast, I would not be surprised if I actually have to beat this Charizard. Flare Blitz! Oh my god, I am probably dead. This is going to sting. Ow. 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 Yeah, Flare Blitz is one of the strongest fire type moves in the entirety of the game. It does recoil damage, but it has 120 power, and it's a physical fire type move, which is actually kind of rare, but it's pretty cool. But as you can see, it absolutely cooked Sparta. I am so sorry, Sparta. I did not expect a freaking Flare Blitz. Ow. In that case, we'll fight starter on starter. And thankfully, it misses its Air Slash. Okay, that's not what I was going to say, but I'll take it. And we managed to hit the KO in Charizard because there's no way it lives this waterfall. Absolutely no way. Alright, 3 Pokemon down. We're doing good so far. We got really lucky with that critical hit on the Blastoise. I should really repeat that. We got very lucky on that. That could have been really bad. Hit level 71, and ooh, Riptide wants to learn a Hydro Pump. Alright. Pretty fitting move for the finale here. Hydro Pump is a 120 special water type move, which not the greatest accuracy, only being 80. Which doesn't sound that bad, but in Pokemon, if it's below 90, you already know that thing's gonna miss all the time because, you know, player luck and all that crap. And normally I would teach it, however, I don't really need it per se, and I'm pretty happy with Waterfall and Surf, so I'm not gonna teach it, but don't get me wrong, Hydro Pump's a very strong water type attack. And a pretty fitting move to learn at this point of our adventure. Some hail damage, not fun, but it is what it is. And Venusaur, as you can see, his team comprises of basically just all the iconic Kanto Pokemon. And this here is his 3rd starter, because he has all 3. And when it comes to good old Venusaur, I think I'm going to go in for Espeon and try and hit this thing as hard as I can with a Psychic. I'm pretty sure I'll be faster. Venusaur's not that fast of a Pokemon. This here is his Venusaur, Grass Poison type, level 84 as well, with the following moveset. Venusaur is a tanky Pokemon, and thankfully has a lot of weaknesses to make up for that, however. So if you're able to hit this thing super effectively, you will probably do decent chunks of damage, but if you don't have anything to hit this thing super effectively, Venusaur can be quite annoying to deal with. However, I want to say my Espeon's going to one-shot this thing. It did not. Okay, I'm probably going to die then. Come on, Espeon, you can live! Live! We live! But unfortunately, the Hail's gonna kill me, because this is the thing about a Hail. If you leave your Pokemon at low HP, Hail can finish them off pretty easily, so you want to be very careful about that. And unfortunately, it's not quite enough to take out his Venusaur. So in that case, I think I'm gonna go over here into good ol'... See, now I wish I had Ice Shard. Of course I got rid of Ice Shard, but it actually would have been super useful, but whatever. I'm gonna just Ice Shard this Venusaur and be done with it, but it is what it is. We'll go over here into our good old Gengar, and unfortunately he is going to go for the full restore. However, this does mean we get a free turn to go for a Shadow Ball. And here comes the problem. Venusaur, like I mentioned, is very tanky, and unfortunately our best answer to kill this thing is now dead. So I'm going to try and get through with some Shadow Balls, but as you can see, Venusaur actually got its special defense load. Okay, that's actually going to be very, very helpful, because that means we can actually do good defense damage to this thing now. I was going to say Venusaur's going to eat these Shadow Balls up like it's nothing for breakfast, but thankfully, with that defense drop, we should actually be able to do a good amount of damage, and maybe even KO it if we get lucky. Maybe? So freaking close, and a second special defense drop. Oh my god, we are getting so freaking lucky against Red here. I am getting omega lucky. And thankfully, the same Hail that killed our Espeon is going to bite him in the ass now, because now his Venusaur is the one going to suffer. Perfect. I can't even lie, we have been getting super lucky during this battle. This could have gone a lot worse, but thankfully we have been getting super, super lucky. On to his next Pokemon, and the last Pokemon we have not seen yet. This here is his Lapras, and if you're playing the original games, not the remakes, he'll actually have an Espeon instead of a Lapras here. Which they probably changed because it was not a Kanto Pokemon, which, you know, just makes sense for Red to have because he's the champion of Kanto. That being said, though, for Lapras, I'm going to open up and go with the Riptide first. I could go in the Heracross, but I'm a little worried on the Heracross's health. So I think I want to tackle someone for Alligator instead first. On to his last Pokemon we haven't seen yet, Lapras, his lowest level Pokemon as well. Level 80, Water Ice type with the following moveset. Lapras here is a Pokemon with tons of health, relatively good bulk, isn't too bad at dealing out hits as well. However, it has a crucial weakness to fighting type moves, which I'm going to take full advantage of with Super Power, which looks pretty cool in this game. And it does about half. The problem here, though, is that it's probably not going to KO it now because Super Power makes you weaker after every use. Thankfully, Blizzard is going to do a bit of damage, but not that bad. And Lapras here, of course, being an Ice type, is going to be one of the Blizzard users on Red's team, so you want to be careful of that, like I've always mentioned. And I think I want to chip this thing down with Crunch a little bit, just in case he has a third Bulbasaur. I don't remember if Red has 2 or 3, but he might have 3. I'm not sure, though. Body Slam, that does a lot, and it gets the Paralysis. That's actually really bad, because that means I'm now slower than this thing, probably. Which means I'm going to not get the KO in. Yeah, not ideal. Alright, there goes for Alligator. And I might be wrong about this, but I think it's now a 2-on-2, right? Okay, no, it's a 3-on-2. Okay, in that case, I have a plan. Actually, Gengar's asleep. My plan was to go into this guy, Gengar and Giga Drain to hopefully KO it, but it's asleep. So in that case, Gonza? At this point, my friend, I think it's time for you to do the honors because his last 2 Pokemon are both weak to fighting. And so with that being said, I think it's time to punch some lights out. And down goes Lapras, which means there's only one Pokemon standing between us and victory. Level 1. The only, you know him, you possibly love him, you might hate him depending on if you have a fighting type or not. Snorlax once again. Left at very low HP, however, I figured he had one more forward store. I kind of figured. However, unfortunately for Red, I don't think it's going to save him. We got very lucky during this battle. That Venusaur could have been a way bigger threat than it actually ended up being, but thankfully, we got very lucky. And all that's left now is to punch our way through the Snorlax. In the good old-fashioned way Gonza has been doing since the very start of our journey. Does tons of damage. Not quite a KO. However, the own hail that Red chose the battle in might be the end of him here. Let's see. Living on a little sliver of HP. We have one last job to do. Gonza, it's time to do the honors. Finish this. End the adventure that has been going on throughout multiple regions, for all the legendary Pokemon, from Team Rocket, for everything we've accomplished. It's time to put an end to it with one final closer combat. Never mind, he has 4 full restores. I actually forgot about that. Come on, Red. Really, I do all this dramatic build-up for the final close combat, and you have to use a full restore. Are you serious, Red? Come on. Come on, man. You couldn't let me have it? Fine. Okay, since I tried to be all dramatic and stuff and ended on a cool note, we'll end it on freaking hail. Fine. If this is how you want to go out, Red, go out by the own hail you chose to battle in. I can't freaking believe it. He had another full restore. I'm so mad. Either way, though, for close combat or hail, it doesn't matter. We've won. And just like that, believe it or not, that's it. The ultimate challenge of the game, the original hero of the original games, has been defeated. And just like that, for real this time with the credits, our adventure has truly come to an end this time. It has been an absolute blast playing Pokemon Soulsilver. This project has definitely been the longest project I've ever done on the channel, but it's been an absolute blast from the very start to the very end. It had a bit of ups and downs because of all the things that happened in my life during the project, but I am very happy I stuck with it, and I wouldn't have done it any other way. And I'm very thankful to all of you people who stuck around and support the series all this time. So seriously, thank you very much. I know it's been going on for a while now, and maybe some people were tired of seeing Soulsilver, but this is one of my favorite games from my childhood, and being able to play it again for you guys was an absolute joy. And all I can really say is, it still holds up. I love this remake. I thought the original games were great, and the remakes were even better, and I still remember the days seeing the TV ads on Pokemon, like Pokemon Heart Gold and Soulsilver, seeing the TV ads, and being so ecstatic to finally get my hands on this game. And when it finally came, I was not disappointed whatsoever. These games are magical. I love them a lot, and while they're not perfect, like I said, I've always talked about how I think the leveling's a little weird sometimes. I think they're pretty dang good games, and I hope during this project I got to show you why I thought they were pretty dang good games. And I really hope you enjoyed your time with it. That being said, I got a few special thank yous I want to give out. I talked about some of these when when we beat the Elite Four for the first time, but because it's the true end of the project now, I want to give a special thank you once again. My first special thank you I want to give you is to Bulbapedia themselves, the main source for Pokemon Intel, who helped a lot with me being able to show off movesets and show off details about the game in a very convenient and very nice fashion. They are a wonderful source of information, and I massively respect and appreciate the people who run that site. It cannot be easy, and you guys are heroes for a lot of people like me who are complete nerds about Pokemon. So thank you once again to Bulbapedia. You guys are great. The special thank you I want to give you is to my friend Akumu once again for being the amazing graphic artist behind the wallpaper for my channel during this project, the logo art, and a lot of other things behind the scenes. He is a fantastic friend of mine, he's a great graphic artist, and this project would not have the same flair without him, and I'm very appreciative of what you do. Thank you, my friend. And of course, the next special thank you I want to give you is, of course, to you watching this right now. Because without you guys, this project wouldn't be the same. I do this channel for fun mostly, but having people around to appreciate it makes me appreciate what I do even more. And for that, I'm truly grateful. That being said though, this has been Pokemon Soulsilver. What a journey it's been, but unfortunately all great things have to come to a close. I've had a blast doing this, I hope you guys had a blast watching this. And with that all being said, this has been Pokemon Soulsilver version. Thank you, Satoru Iwata, you are a goddamn legend, rest in heaven. That being said, I've said all I want to say. I hope you enjoyed the adventure. This has been Gmod with Pokemon Soulsilver. And I'll catch you guys in the near future for whatever adventure may come next. See you guys then.